Congratulations, you finally made it to 4 p.m. You know what that means. Happy hour. It's time to kick back, relax, and dive into the world of sports with the Young and Norvelle Show. Whether you're catching up on the latest scores, analyzing the big plays, or gearing up for tonight's games, we've got you covered. So grab a cold one, settle in, and let's talk sports. Here they are, Patrick Young and Terry Norvelle.
All right, here we go. We are live on Thursday. Beautiful sunny day. A little bit windy. It's been windy all week, but gorgeous, gorgeous weather. And I'm hoping we get the inclement weather out of the way. So next week with the tournament, the golf tournament right down the street, hopefully the weather will be good and warm for that. Hi, everybody. Welcome to a Thursday edition of the Young and Norvelle Show. Boy, you know where we're at. If it's Thursday, I'm on the patio at Sliders Oyster Bar. Glad to be here. The next 6 months are just a blast. It's climate controlled. No need to control the climate. They got the little heaters on going right now, but man, perfect weather. If you're looking to get out of the kitchen, you don't want to cook at home tonight, you're in and around the Neptune Beach area where Sliders Oyster Bar is located. Come on down, say hi, order up some great food, eat here, patio, indoors, wherever. The Oyster Bar, they've got many, many options for you here at Sliders Oyster Bar, featuring safe harbor seafood. I'll tell you all about the menu, the specials, the lunch specials, everything that they do here at Sliders as we go. We'll do it till 6 o'clock, 4 to 6 today. A lot to get to, a lot of basketball. Hopefully we'll hear from Patrick Young, as I'm sure he's got thoughts on what a college basketball game last night. Alabama hosted Florida in Tuscaloosa. 2 top 10, really top 5 teams went at it. Florida prevailed. The Gators win the game. Florida kind of beat Alabama up in the second half physically and pulled away. But, man, if you watched that game last night, Florida and Alabama, and you weren't impressed by both teams, and you may want to shut it down for the rest of the year. You may not even want to watch March Madness. 2 really good basketball teams. It was Ali Frazier going at one point. It was the Thrilla in Manila. 2 good basketball teams. Alabama would fight ahead in the first half. Florida would catch up, go on a run, take the lead. Alabama would come back, tie it, take a lead, go on a run. Florida came back, took a 1-point lead at halftime. And then the Gators kind of physically imposed their will. What a game. We'll talk about it. Where does that now leave Florida? With 1 regular season to go, Alabama, Auburn, Tennessee. The Vols, by the way, if you missed it, Gator Nation or Alabama Nation, Tennessee lost a tough game at 9 o'clock, a 9 o'clock tip last night, right after the Florida-Alabama game. Tennessee was took on to Ole Miss, and tough loss for Tennessee. Tennessee now probably out of the running unless they get red hot and win their way through the SEC tournament. Florida, and you heard me say it yesterday when we were previewing the game, and I stand by what I said yesterday, even had Florida lost last night. I thought last night's basketball game, regular season, let me keep emphasizing regular season, I thought that was the biggest regular season basketball game in the history of Gator basketball. And with what it had on the line, what came with a win, I think, and I'll stand by that. Yes, I know Florida has won 2 basketball national championships. That's the reason I qualify it when I said I think last night's Florida win over Alabama in men's college basketball was the biggest win/game in the history of Gator basketball regular season. What comes with that? And I'll walk it through. We hope to have Patrick Young in a little bit. I think Florida now is 100% going to get a number 1 seed. There are 4 number 1 seeds. And, yes, they seed the seeds. And it does behoove you. If you're 1 of 1, 2 of 1, 3 of 1, 4 of 1, yes, that does behoove you. And it really behooves you geographically because Auburn's going to get a 1 seed. We know. Duke is going to get a 1 seed. Then it gets a little dicey. Florida is going to get a 1 seed, and most people right now are penciling in the Gators as the 4 seed of the ones, the 4th 1 seed, if you will. It looks like if that holds true, Florida will be the 1 seed in the West Regional. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Now, the West Regional looks like it's tied in through Raleigh. So Florida would play a couple games in Raleigh, and then they would go out to the West Coast. And they then would have to go through San Francisco to get to San Antonio. The Final Four is in San Antonio. Everybody's trying to get to Texas. Everybody's trying to get to Texas. Now, I'm going to say this, and we can get into it now. I think Florida has a better resume and should get no lower than a 3rd seed of the 1s. A lot of people have Houston in there. Well, I don't know how much you've looked at Houston's schedule, but if you look at Florida's schedule and the Houston Cougars, Houston's had a good year. They're a good basketball program. Kelvin Sampson does a nice job. Hell, they went to the Final Four, maybe in the final game not long ago. Houston plays good basketball. They deserve a 1 seed, it looks like, right now. Houston has won the Big 12 regular season championship. The Big 12 is a good, solid conference. It's not the SEC, though. And I don't think any basketball guy out there or girl that you would run into that is not trying to be a shock factor, I don't think anybody in the world would say the Big 12 is a better basketball conference this year than the SEC. As a matter of fact, I don't even think it's close. The SEC is so much better than every conference. Now, where am I going with that? And we may, do we have Patrick on? I'm not sure if I heard Patrick stirring around or not. Maybe not. Oh yeah, hey buddy, how you doing? Let me finish my thought here, Pat, with regard to Houston getting a 1 seed. I think Florida should be seated higher than Houston. You look at Houston's record and their schedule. Houston, they've only lost a couple games. They've lost like 4 games. Do you realize Houston has lost this year to Alabama and Auburn? Guess who has beaten Alabama and Auburn this year? Not many teams. The Florida Gators have beaten Houston and they've beaten Auburn and Alabama, both on the road, I might add. Everybody right now is putting Florida in the 4th overall seed, the 4th spot of the 1 seeds. I think Florida should be ranked ahead of Houston. Patrick, what say you?
Do they have Houston as a 1 seed right now?
It looks like right now it appears if they gave out 1 seeds right now, Auburn would be the 1 of 1. Duke would be the 2 of 1, if you know what I'm saying. Houston would be the 3 of 1, and Florida would be the 4 of 1. I think Florida has a better resume than Houston.
Yeah, those should be switched for sure.
Don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We'll see. The committee's got some work.
There's another level of quad 1 victories. I think when you go on the road to Auburn and to Bama and you win on the road in their place, like,
my God.
I think Houston, Kansas isn't that impressive because they're out of the top 25, but I think Houston went into Kansas and got a win there as well.
And Patrick, I also, and call me SEC homer guy, I don't think I'm being SEC homer guy. Houston won the Big 12, right? They clinched it last week. They won the outright title. They're like 18-1 or 18-2, 16-2, whatever. They won their and the Big 12 is a good conference. The Big 12 is not the SEC this year. Florida is the number 2 seed in the SEC. They've won the number 2 seed outright. I contend, Patrick, that coming in second place in the SEC is absolutely harder than probably winning the Big 12.
Yeah, oh my gosh, for sure, without a doubt. Yeah, who else is? I know Baylor's didn't have a great year. Iowa State, they're up there in the mix. We'll probably see Houston and Ohio State run into each other in the Big 12 championship. Do you think there's really any point to these championships in a league like the SEC or the Big 10 or Big 12, like to the conference? It really doesn't seem like there's a great purpose behind the conference tournament.
Yeah, and you hate to say that. You hate to say that if the commissioners of these conferences are listening, but you're right. Right now, the SEC, for instance, Patrick, 1, 2, 3, and 4 are so entrenched. Auburn, Florida, Alabama, and Tennessee are so entrenched. I don't know if they can do much, win or lose in Nashville, to really alter anything.
No.
I
mean, maybe Auburn gets knocked out early, and Florida or Bama or Tennessee. If Tennessee were to win, I think they might be able to knock somebody out to get that 1 seed, because you're getting at least 2 quad 1 opportunities. In that. So, but I don't know, like, it seems like the SEC tournament, or in bigger conferences, though, they really don't mean anything except, like, the A-Sun, JU's playing tonight.
Yeah,
they
of course we're going to talk about
the season's over.
But you're right. The SEC this year, just kind of the way it plays out, if you could go to the top 4 teams, Auburn, Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, if you could go to them and say, hey, guys, if it wouldn't hurt you at all in the eyes of the committee, would you just rather skip Nashville? I think those 4 would rather skip Nashville. I really do.
Yeah.
Why sprain an ankle? Why not get more rest? I think they would, Patrick. I think they would.
I think it makes the most sense.
Hey, buddy, let's dive into what was and you heard Jay Billis, Dave Pash on the call. You heard Seth Greenberg. You heard Sean Farnham. You heard the guys in the studio. That last night, Florida, Alabama, those 2 teams hooked up in that would have been a Final Four game to be proud of, a championship game. Those were 2 heavyweight boxers. I mean, that was Ali Frazier going out. What a game! What a heavyweight bout that was last night.
Yeah, man, it was the one game that I was waiting to say directly, decisively, said if Florida can win in Alabama, I am willing to say yes, they are a Final Four team. It is Final Four or bust, because this team is so good. They do. I mean, Alex Condon. Let's hope we have a chance of keeping him another year after that performance.
Yeah. Patrick, at last count, watching the game live as you did and a million people did last night, I quit counting after Alex Condon had dunked in the face of half the crowd and every Bama player. He dunked on everybody last night in their face.
Yeah, he did. That baseline alley-oop that I can't remember, was it Walter or was it Will Richard that threw it to him? But whoever
I think it was Walter. I think it was Clayton that threw it.
What a pass! What a play!
Hey Pat, speak to how hard that is to be the dunker. I mean, the pass has got to be good, but the pass is the pass. The dunker, you've got to have space. You've got to go off the correct foot. You're going to have somebody in your face up in the air probably. You've got to catch it clean and you've got to dunk it. That he did that in traffic last night about 4 times.
Yeah, the fast break one that was over Grant. Grant Nelson was right behind him.
Yeah,
that was such a tough catch because he was like already kind of past the rim.
Really was.
He dunked that one, so that was pretty crazy. The pass, like when you jump, it all depends a little. It depends like how far away is this alley-oop pass. Like the other night, who was playing? Florida and Mississippi State. Do you remember that and one? Wade Taylor it was at Texas A&M. Wade Taylor made a great pass to Solomon Washington from like a step or 2 past the half-court line, and he catches it and fit like that. A play like that is so hard to complete. A little bit closer to the rim as Walter, and it's not as hard because the pass doesn't need to be absolutely perfect. But the guy that's jumping to go get it, they got to be confident and trust that their guy's going to make that pass. It was beautiful.
Patrick,
they must do it in practice all the time.
I know Condon must have had 4 alley-oop dunks last night, at least 4. I know at least 2 of those as the play was developing. I'm watching on TV like everybody. As the play was developing and you started seeing whoever the ball handler or Clayton or whoever was on a couple of those dunks, those alley-oop dunks, when he started to make the pass, I was nervous. I go, oh, no. There's too much traffic there. Damned if Condon didn't go above everybody, catch it clean, and throw it down.
He's 6'11", man.
God.
He is 6'11". What
a game last night. I will say this, and this is a tip of the hat to Alabama. Alabama, if Alabama was cutting the nets down Monday, April 7th, I wouldn't be surprised. That's a good basketball team, man. Alabama's good. Alabama's
Florida dominated them on the boards. I mean, that was
they really did. Pat, have you ever seen 50 to 35?
Did you hear Jay Bella say last night, or was it Jay or Jimmy?
You had Dave Pash was the play-by-play. Jay Billis was the analyst, and Molly McGrath was the.
He kept saying, and another one and done for Alabama, and another one and done. One
My
shot,
God, Florida.
Defensive rebound, possession over.
My God, Patrick, does Todd Golden obviously got great players too, but I mean, is he working on offensive rebounds and suicide drills every practice, or is that just something? Florida is a menace.
That'd be a really good question to ask him. I wonder how hard he pushes the guys to practice during the season.
Because you got to be careful to push them too hard, right? But man, they've got Florida.
But shoot, they got so much depth, man. Like they're not killing themselves in the games.
No, and to watch Florida go get the ball off the glass. I mean, you would think that ball was dunked in blood, and it's a bunch of friggin' jackals in there. I mean, I don't know if I've seen a team go that hard on the offensive board in particular. I can't remember it. Buddy, that ball belongs to Florida when it goes up, doesn't it? If it doesn't go in that basket, Florida takes it personal if they don't get that ball.
They're getting a hand on the ball at minimum. They are always going to get, like, someone's going for it, or if they can't get it, they're going to touch it, try to get a hand on it, because at least that means you're not going to get it clean.
Yeah.
Keeps the ball loose. Yeah, they do a great job of that.
So, with regard to the SEC tournament, there's one more regular season game for everybody in the SEC this Saturday. Obviously, that'll wrap up the regular season, and then the tournament will start the following Wednesday. Florida is now locked in as the 2 seed. Auburn's the 1 seed. They won the championship outright. Auburn's 1, Florida is 2. We now know Florida will have the double bye. They will not play Wednesday. 4 teams will get the double bye. 4 teams will not play Wednesday or Thursday. Florida will play their first game in Nashville. We now know they'll be the 3rd game on Friday. So they'll be the early evening game. I think that's a 7 o'clock tip. And it should be a 7 o'clock tip because there'll be a break in the action. You know what I mean? It won't be like the first game will push them. So Florida will play right now. Definitely Florida will play in the 7 o'clock Friday night game in Nashville. They will play the winner of Game 7, and we don't really know. It's still kind of feeling its way out. There's a chance, Patrick, that they could meet up with Ole Miss again, back-to-back. Ole Miss might be in that 7, and it may be, LSU Vandy. It may be LSU Vandy playing Ole Miss to see who plays Florida. It's not set in stone yet, though, because we've got another game. But we do know Florida will play Friday night, double bye, Friday night at 7 o'clock in Nashville. We know that much, Pat.
Yeah, that's big time.
Yeah. We
doesn't matter who lines up on the other side.
No, and again, I still think the national committee. I think they've gotten so savvy. I don't think if Auburn loses game 1 on Friday, if Florida loses, I don't think they're going to punish them at all. I think running through 18 games in conference play in that conference this year, I think that is your resume. Pat.
Yeah, man, look at Oklahoma. They beat Missouri last night. They might have pushed themselves back in the conversation.
How about that? Oklahoma, teams like Oklahoma, Texas. How good is this conference? You've got those kind of teams. They just won't die, Patrick. Oklahoma won't die. Hey, sweetie, how you doing? There's my friends. Oklahoma won't die. Where did that game come from last night, for Oklahoma? Boy, they were a desperate team, man.
Right? They've been spiraling out of the way. Spiraling. I'd be surprised if even if they make the tournament, if he's still going to be there next year.
And Patrick, it's so fun to watch. There's there's 16 teams in the SEC this year, total teams, right? It's so easy to get caught up following the top 8 because those are the pretty teams. Those are the high-ranked teams, the Floridas, the Auburns, the Georgia, the Tennessees, blah, blah, blah. The back half of the SEC, nobody's dead. Nobody died. I mean, the minute you're ready to bury Arkansas goes and wins last night. I mean, what in the world?
South Carolina's dead in the water, but, I mean, they still compete.
I wouldn't want to play South Carolina right now.
Man, I was up here. They had 2 guys. Some guy got hurt at the beginning of the year, and then Miles Studi had a blood clot situation in his legs.
Yeah,
that has stopped him from playing. But South Carolina could have been better than the record this year. But a lot of those games they lost, they were by a point or 2 or 3. Like they were right there in all of them.
Hell, South Carolina probably should have beat Florida in the first matchup.
Oh yeah,
Florida come storming back. Hey Pat, hang tight if you can. We got to get into what a neat situation and opportunity tonight for JU basketball. And there's a real strange situation. Do you realize, and we'll get into it on the other side of the break, Patrick, if JU was to win tonight on the road at North Alabama in the semifinals of the ASUN, if the second game goes the right way, JU could qualify tonight. I don't know if you know that. We're gonna.
Wait, what?
Listen to me. We're gonna go to break, and I'm gonna come back and we're gonna talk about.
I know why.
JU, yeah. Hang tight. The Fighting Dolphins. Yeah, the Fighting Dolphins are playing tonight in the ASUN semifinal. They're on the road at North Alabama. By the way, they split 2 games, so JU knows they can beat them. If JU was to win, and it's the early game, depending on the second game between Queens and Lipscomb, JU could qualify tonight for March Madness. We'll explain that on the other side. Busy Basketball Thursday. His name is Patrick Young. I'm Terry Norvelle. Zach Rothrock producing. A lot more ball to get into. Stay with us here on a Thursday. We're live at the patio at Sliders Oyster Bar.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The Action Sports Jax 24/7 network is streaming. I'm Stuart Weber, and I'm here to teach you a nice three-step process on how you can watch all your favorite programming, from the Brent and Austin Show every weekday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or the Cup Date with me. It's fantastic. We talk NASCAR. It's a great time. Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. All right, first step, easy. Download the Action News Jax app. You probably already have it downloaded on your phone, so you might already have that one taken care of. Step 2, see that stack of pancakes up there? You click that stack of pancakes, and it's going to bring down step number 3, which is a full screen of all the different streams that you can click on, including the Action Sports Jax 24/7 stream. You click that, the video's rocking and rolling on your mobile device. You're watching all the shows you want to, and you're having a good time. You can also do it on your smart TV with the Action News Jax Now app. I do it on my Samsung TV at home. It's a great way to watch it on a nice, large screen for all the content. That's the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Hope you can find it.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 143-2579.
Man, what a day. Gorgeous weather. Hopefully it will, the wind will stop next week. We've got the big golf tournament in town, of course, so we want good weather. The temperature is doable. I'd like it to get like 5 or 6 more degrees warmer, and I think it's supposed to next week during the tournament. We don't need this wind, though. Boy, I know one thing. Golfers, they can put up with a little bit of rain. They can put up with a little overcast. They don't like this massive wind. Hopefully the wind will die down for the Players' Championship, which is upon us next week. As a matter of fact, you know what's upon us as we welcome Patrick Young back to the show? Patrick, the time changes this weekend, my man. Saturday to Sunday. The time changes. I like it. I like it a lot.
Oh, it does? I thought we already did it.
Nope, time change. We're doing it again, baby. So Sunday evening coming up, it will be daylight until about 8 o'clock again, and start getting later and later and later. I like it. And then the Players' Championship is next week. All right, Pat, let's talk ASUN basketball. And there's a real strange situation going on. JU is one of 4 teams still alive. There are 2 semifinal games in the Atlantic Sun Conference. There are 2 semifinals, and they're played on campus tonight. You've got JU playing at North Alabama. Okay, that's a 7 o'clock game. You can see that on ESPN3, I think it is. About an hour later in Lipscomb, which is in Nashville, Lipscomb will host Queens College. So, Patrick, we've got 2 semifinal games. The 2 winners will then meet Sunday at 2 o'clock in the Atlantic Sun Championship game on ESPN2. Winner gets the automatic bid. Okay, so that, Pat, as you know, that's pretty standard. Okay, there's nothing crazy right there, right? That's pretty standard. Now, here's the situation, and Zach Rothrock, I want you to hear this as well. And Pat, I think you know this, but there's a strange little asterisk right now in the ASUN. Queens College is the newest member, okay? They are moving up from like Division II to Division I. Queens College, athletically, they're in their probationary period where they're reclassifying, meaning Queens College has 1 more year where they're in their probationary period. They cannot go to postseason play. So, if Queens College was to win the conference, then the second place team would go. Pat, you with me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so,
that happened to Bellarmine.
It happened to Bellarmine
3 years
a couple years ago. So what? And Zach, I want you to hear this because I was teasing you a little bit during the break. what could happen, I'm going to say the word could again. What could happen tonight is if JU, and by the way, JU will tip off with North Alabama about an hour before Lipscomb and Queens tip off. If JU was to win tonight, if Queens College at Lipscomb was to upset Lipscomb later on tonight, and by the way, they've played twice and Queens has beaten them once. If Queens was to knock off Lipscomb later tonight, then JU would be going to March Madness because they would play Queens on Sunday, but win or lose, Queens could not go to March Madness because they're in their probationary period.
Like their season's over no matter what. If they were to
now they could have the pride of saying, "Well, we won the A-Sun," but and actually, let me back up.
That's so pointless. That's with that rule.
Isn't that
and
nuts?
we were just talking about it, Terry, where it matters. It doesn't matter as much for the big schools. Obviously, we know it matters for the smaller schools.
Yes.
They're a one-bid league, and what's the
they're not. Nobody's getting an at-large bid. Nobody's getting an at-large bid out of the A-Sun. You win the conference tournament, and you get the automatic bid. That's it.
So, like, why is Queens even playing?
Well, I'll tell you why they're playing.
Rule.
I'll tell you why, because Queens wants to win tonight, and then on Sunday, and they get to say, hey, we won a conference championship. We outright won it. That's why they're playing. But, yeah, now, let me back up, Patrick. The same applies for North Alabama. If North Alabama wins tonight and beats JU, if Queens beats Lipscomb an hour later, North Alabama could go too. But how about JU could actually, if everything fell perfect for JU tonight, Patrick, by midnight the Dolphins could be in March Madness. How about that?
Oh yeah,
they could be in. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's great. I mean, that's why they all they need to do is focus on what they can control.
Yeah. Now let me back up again. If JU wins the early game, if Queens knocks off Lipscomb, that conference, even though JU would have already qualified for March Madness, they would host Queens in Swisher.
Yep.
Because they'd be the higher seed.
Yep. They get to do one more game, and it'd be nice to be there when they cut the nets down.
Wouldn't that be? And I get it. Making it to March Madness is one thing, but if you said it, Patrick, and you've cut nets down, man, you know what that deal is. Wouldn't that be sweet for the JU basketball program if Sunday at about 4:00 they were winning outright the A-Sun and they were cutting the nets down and making plans to go play in March Madness? How big would that be for that program?
Oh,
really
man.
big. Hey, how big would that be, Patrick?
Oh, absolutely. It'd be huge.
Would really be fun. I know. Hey, you worked at least one JU North Alabama game, I think, didn't you?
Say that again.
Did you work a JU North Alabama game this year? They played twice.
Yes, I did.
Talk to us about. Do you remember the matchups?
I don't remember it that great. I don't remember that.
They split, by the way.
I just know they had an undersized guy, I believe, that could really rebound, and they kept him in check. He pivoted a lot. A guard that was I've done so many other games. I can't remember North Alabama that great.
But you did the game. JU beat them at home 64-60. JU lost in Alabama 92-79. So you did a home game that they won. I will say this, Patrick, and I don't want to be that guy, but I remember the second game, North Alabama JU, which was about 3 or 4 weeks ago. It was on a Saturday because I was driving around in my car, Patrick, and I turned it on and caught it on the radio, and North Alabama won at North Alabama. And I hate to be this guy, Patrick, because I was listening. I wasn't watching. But, man, it sounded like JU got jobbed by the officials. I hate to say that, man. And I know I was listening to a JU radio broadcast, but, man, it sounded like the officials in North Alabama, they really, really helped out that team. But I don't want to say that, Pat, but I said it.
You just did. Let's hope. Yeah, we heard you. We got to document it.
Yeah, definitely. Would be super for JU basketball. Dolphins haven't gone to
forward
March
to watching
Madness.
it. Can't wait. 7:00 ESPN Plus.
Yeah, and that'll be on obviously from North Alabama. So we'll have the North Alabama broadcast crew will do that game, right? Is that how that works?
Yes.
The home team.
So the team's gonna have hired somebody. The team's home team's production company.
Yeah. So man, exciting times around college basketball right now. JU. Hey, did you see where Miami went ahead and made a hire? The Miami Hurricanes men's basketball went ahead and hired.
Yeah, Jay Lucas.
Lucas, you remember him?
He played in Florida for a little bit.
Yeah, did you ever know him at all?
Not really, no.
Not really, yeah. I remember him coming out. He's the son of John Lucas, who was a legendary player in the NBA at Maryland. But Lucas, he played a year or so at Florida, and then he transferred to Texas. He was good, not great, but that got me thinking, FSU's job's still open. And I think FSU's job's a little bit better than Miami, even though Miami went to the Final Four a couple of years ago. Would you agree with that? I think FSU's job is I don't think FSU's a really good job, but it's better than Miami, I think.
Yeah, maybe Florida State's job's a little bit worse just because all their stuff's so old. Gym and
maybe.
Just haven't had any really exciting seasons in a while, but yeah. I don't know. I think Miami's it's a good spot. He's in that Duke shadow. So
yeah, he came off the
reason
Duke.
He seems like the coaches are getting younger and younger, man.
It really does, doesn't it? It really, really does. Yeah. Jay Lucas comes off the Duke bench. There he is, Johnny Pop. He comes off the Duke bench. He's the Miami Canes head coach now. FSU still needs some of the names you're kind of hearing, and I don't know if these are legitimate names around the FSU job. A couple of former Seminole players who are NBA coaches. Sam Cassell, I know his name. You remember Sam Cassell?
I remember that name. He played at Florida State, didn't he?
Played at Florida State. Good player. He was a good NBA player too.
He'd be a great hire. He'd be a great hire.
He's an assistant in the NBA. They had a kid by the name of Luke Locks who wasn't much of an NBA player, but you remember him. He's an NBA coach. His name's being mentioned. I'll tell you a flyer here that I think I would give consideration to. He's at UAB right now, and he had to go.
Andy Kennedy?
Andy Kennedy. Yeah. I think he's got a little bit of baggage, but he rehabbed himself at UAB. I think Andy Kennedy can coach, a former Ole Miss guy.
It's not a bad hire.
Yeah. So FSU. FSU, they're still playing in I don't know what they call it now. It was the Leon County Civic Center. FSU ended up buying that building from the county, I think. And they've put lipstick on a pig, but man, it's not a good setup. It's a basketball facility for the Noles. It's not on campus. You know what I mean? It's down the road. To Miami's credit, their facility is about 15 years old, but Miami built about a 6,000 seat, which is good for them. Miami's got their own 6,000 seat, small little arena, but it's on campus and it's only, 15 years old. So that is one bonus that Miami has, I think, a little bit over FSU. That Leon County Civic Center, that's a beat up building, man. It's a beat up building.
Yeah. Yeah. They got to do something about it. That's for sure.
So we're sitting here Thursday, Pat. Do you get on a plane tomorrow for all day Saturday in Charlotte?
Correct.
What's your next few days? Talk about it.
That's it. Correct.
So Saturday.
Yeah. Yep. Get there a day early to be ready for all Saturday.
Wow, and you're going to be
regular season weekend.
That is going to be a long.
It'll be nice to make the game in Gainesville, but
yeah,
I'm gonna do what I can this upcoming year to try and get more games in Gainesville. Just makes sense.
Be the analyst, right? Yeah, be the game analyst.
We'll save the money.
Yeah, makes sense. Being the game analyst, I would imagine though you guys are going to really do a great job Saturday. Y'all going to be busy because most of the games when they end, Pat, as you know it, you're going to know one team's going to be happy and they may have a high seed and they're talking about round one of there's going to be a lot of storylines coming out of Saturday's results, don't you think, in the SEC?
Yeah, but I don't think teams really worry about that as much. The only teams that really worry about that are the ones that are still trying to fight for their lives. The ones that are soundly in, they're not going to be worried about that.
Yeah. Were you at all surprised? I was not. I was not at all surprised that after clinching the regular season conference championship, Auburn, I wasn't surprised that A&M beat them the other night. A&M really needed that game, didn't they?
They needed it badly. A&M really needed that game. Golly, did they?
Yeah.
I wasn't. After losing 4 in a row.
Yeah. Wasn't a surprise. Pat, we'll let you go after this. I want to talk a little bit more real quick about some college basketball. And I'm going to ask you this year, this college basketball season, I watch a lot of basketball. I get caught up watching mostly SEC basketball, but I watch a lot of I love college basketball. I love midweek games when it's cold outside and it's Tuesday night or it's Wednesday night. With that said, Patrick, I have not seen Duke play a lot of basketball. I know they're good. I know they're good. Their record's gaudy. They've got maybe the best player in the country. They're deep. Have you seen Duke play a lot? I just haven't.
No, I haven't. I have not seen them play a lot. Yeah,
weird.
I know a few names of some of their players, like Knuppel. It's a funny name, Knuppel.
Yeah, he does have. I don't know how to pronounce it half the time, but it's weird. And Patrick, is it because you and I you're a junkie, I'm a junkie when it comes to college basketball. Is it because the ACC is not real good? They just don't have marquee games this year. Even Duke, North Carolina this Saturday. That's not appointment TV. North Carolina's not very good.
Exactly. Yeah, they're not. Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough. How many teams they got projected? Them and Clemson. I know Clemson's good, but
they are good.
That's really it.
Yeah,
it's just not. Yeah, it's not great.
Yeah.
For
it's funny you mentioned Clemson. People may forget Clemson was an Elite Eight team last year. They made the Elite Eight and got knocked out by Alabama. Alabama knocked out Clemson. Was good last year and this year. Quietly, really quietly good team. All right, Pat, what are we missing anything else in college basketball? I guess Saturday will wrap it up and we'll know all the conference matchups, and good luck to JU tonight, right? Come on, Dolphins.
Yeah, good luck to JU. Yeah, good luck to JU. Good luck to the home team.
All right, that's our buddy Pat.
It's still going, but it is what it is.
I know. Wouldn't it be nice if they were playing in the championship game for a trip? Can you imagine that? For a trip to March Madness, those two playing? That'd be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would be great. That would be awesome.
That'd be great. All right, my man. Can you give us a little tease about your sport coat coming up Saturday? Anything special we need to pay attention?
Yeah, watch TV.
You got something for us? You got something?
Watch TV.
Okay. We call that a tease. We call that a tease, my man. Sounds good. All right, my man. Listen, if we can hear from you tomorrow, great. If not, we understand you're traveling. Safe travels. We all will be watching, obviously, a lot of basketball Saturday from the SEC, and I know you guys will have it covered, wire to wire. I'm looking forward to it. And, man, we are getting close to getting the field set, man. Cannot wait. All right, Pat, be safe, buddy. That's our buddy Patrick Young checking in. We'll talk to Pat hopefully a little bit tomorrow, and then the first of the week we'll know who won what, who all is where the seeds are in the SEC tournament, which comes up a week from Wednesday, or this coming Wednesday, wrapping it around this Wednesday. Obviously, the lower 8 seeds will play Wednesday and Thursday. The survivors will then play the 4 bye teams on Friday. Then you go semifinal, then you go final. So a lot of basketball coming up. The good news, if you're one of the 4 top seeds in the SEC, you're going to get yourself a good week's rest. Think about it. You've got this Saturday, the final regular season game, and if you're one of the top 4, you almost give yourself a full week's rest. You won't play again until wraparound Friday. So a good 6 days, almost an entire week off. And, you deserve that. You've earned that right by securing one of those top 4 seats. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back. We may want to go over again, and Zach Rothrock, I'm not sure if you followed. I may want to go over again the scenario for the JU Dolphins tonight and looking ahead if they win. It's unique, but if everything fell JU's way, JU could be the first team in March Madness. Literally the first team to qualify if everything fell their way, because there's a really, really unique situation involving Queens College and the Atlantic Sun. We'll get into that. Florida starts spring practice today. They're probably on the field right now. We'll talk about that. Some March Madness news and notes. The Jaguars, should they kick the tires on a couple of these big-name, soon-to-be free agents? We'll discuss that as we cruise on a Thursday. Thursday means Sliders Oyster Bar. We're on the patio. Come by, say hi if you're in the Neptune Beach area. Make sure you make it appointment stop. Great time of year, indoor dining, outdoor dining. It's open, it's fresh, it's a great people watching place, entertainment going on all the time, and they feature Safe Harbor Seafood. Break time, slowly wrapping up hour number 1 on a Thursday. The Young and Norvelle Show continues on Action Sports Jacks.
For those dealing with pain from a sports injury, arthritis, or spine condition, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists offers innovative new non-surgical options. Our regenerative medicine treatments, including platelet-rich plasma and other regenerative treatments, use your body's own restorative cells to aid in treating injuries. These procedures are performed in our offices and typically require minimal downtime. If you want to get back to doing what you love, our regenerative treatment options may be right for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Rick's Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Rick's Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Rick's Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dynamic Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry. We still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
It's a new logo, new branding. With Bold City Heating and Air, it's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville. It's hot, Florida in the summer. You can't do much to avoid it, but you can keep cool with Bold City Heating and Air. It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bold City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who is coming to your house. You know they will be well trained and they will respect your home. air conditioning convenience at BoldCityAC.com. Stay cool while it gets hot. Bold City Heating and Air can help. Don't get caught sweating all summer. BoldCityAC.com. And they have financing to help. New systems starting at $110 a month and $50 off any repairs. Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bold City Heating and Air at BoldCityAC.com. Homegrown in your hometown.
Okay, let's put the basketball talk on the shelf for a moment. We wanted to talk a little bit about JU tonight playing in the semifinal game, the big Saturday of SEC basketball, college basketball in general. Let's put that on the shelf and get back to the NFL. A trade has just happened. The Jacksonville Jaguars have traded Christian Kirk to the Houston Texans. A lot of little layers to this trade, including, you don't hear this all the time, division team trading to division team. Let's bring Zach Rothrock, our producer, on. He's been tracking the story a little bit. Zach, yeah. I'm kind of piecing this thing together a little bit. I want to give Mike DeRocco, our buddy, you know Mike, some credit for helping break this story.
Yeah,
but interesting here, Jaguars. And did you notice the Jaguars trade Christian Kirk, wide receiver? They were about to release him, right? So why not trade him to get something?
Absolutely,
and the Texans, you remember yesterday it broke that Tank Dell, their rookie receiver that really burst on the scene, he's having a second surgery performed.
Yeah, that's tough.
So I think this trade and this deal happened quickly and recently with that Tank Dell news. What are your overall thoughts? It's a little unique. The Jaguars are going to be trying to dethrone Houston. You're trading in the division. On the surface, what comes to your mind seeing this? And I'll give you some of the things that come to my mind.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like a cliche that you don't trade within the division. And, I mean, there's certain times where that won't. Like, I mean, the Browns are not going to trade Myles Garrett to the Ravens, right? But
good point. Yeah, that'd be stupid.
But in this scenario, the Jaguars appear to have been just as likely to just cut Christian Kirk and let him walk out the door.
Absolutely.
And so why not get something for instead of nothing? And what they got is a 2026 7th-round pick.
And say that again now. Or I'm going to say it again. The pick is not the draft coming up in April 2025. Right. It's for next year's draft, 7th round, which, Zach, on the surface, we'll all know who got the better of this because a football season will have been played. If Christian Kirk goes out and makes 110 catches, well, the Texans probably stole one, right? If Kirk is not healthy and gimps around, well, the Jaguars got something for it, right? So it is not a 2026 pick. It's a 2027 7th round pick. I thought that was interesting, and I want to make sure everybody reads it like that.
Yeah, and I mean, and he very well might because he'll be back in a role that'll be more similar to what he was with the Cardinals, where they're going to have Nico Collins on the outside, and they're still going to have, I think they're still going to have Stephon Diggs. I'll have to double check that. But then so
free
they should
agent.
be able to just so they should be able to just throw Christian Kirk into the slot and let him kind of do what he does best. But even with that being the case, I mean, if you're the Jaguars, I think that's kind of a risk you're willing to take. I don't really think that's one of those you're worried about coming to bite you in the butt necessarily.
Yeah. And, some people may be out there. Let's back this up a little bit. So the Jaguars, it was reported yesterday they were going to release Christian Kirk. They want to let him go. They want to free up some cash. So it was understood they were going to let him go. If they let him go, he's on the free market, right? He and his agent are on the free.
He would have been. And yet Stephon Diggs is also a free agent.
But where I'm going is let me back up.
Yeah.
That's Houston is a little bit desperate for wide receivers now, particularly with the new Tank Dell information about second surgery. So why some people may be saying, well, why wouldn't Houston just hold tight, not give up a draft pick, and when he gets released, go sign him? Well, because then you're competing with everybody that wants to sign him if there's other clubs out there. A trade is different than a free agent signing. The trade, right? The trade means I'm cutting a deal and he and his agent have agreed to come to our franchise, not go on the open market. Am I reading that right?
Oh yeah. I mean, it had to be more of a. There's a lot of things that have to go into it. More wheels are in motion when you do a trade.
But
than just
for the Texans, to guarantee they're going to get Christian Kirk, they thought it was safer to do a trade before Kirk got totally released and he's a free agent to sign with anybody in the NFL. Then you may not get him if you're the Texans.
Yeah,
that's why they jumped. That's why they jumped and said, "Hell, we'll give a 7." It's not much to give up, and they're rolling the dice a little bit, right? Because he's been damaged goods. He's been damaged goods, but
with the injury,
they're a little desperate with wide receiver right now, right?
Yeah, with the injuries, but I mean, it's from their perspective, it's a pretty low risk. Yeah, so
really
is. Yeah, so I mean, why not? I mean, I get it. I get it for both. This is one of those trades where it feels like both sides are doing pretty good, which is probably why they agreed to do it even within the division.
I agree, and I don't think I'm speaking out of turn. I think I have heard this new Jaguar organization, and we know who that is: the coach, the coordinator, Pacelli. The GM. I think I have heard somebody in that organization, the new organization for the Jags, over the last 2-3 weeks say, "Hey, man, our goal is to stockpile picks. We want picks, and hell, this is one more pick." Christian Kirk wasn't going to be on this roster, and is it hard to turn a 7th-round pick into chicken salad? You know what the saying is. Yes, it is, but you got one more. You got one more chance to maybe hit a home run. I think that hits their philosophy. This also tells me that philosophy. The Jaguars, I think, understand they're not going to the Super Bowl this year. This is a get your house in order year. I think get your house in order.
Yeah, and also it's. I mean, also GMs traditionally have valued future draft picks higher than present ones, but I think with the time period that we're in right now in particular, this draft has kind of been described as one of the weaker ones. And if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense with the NIL and the transfer portal and also the COVID years. This was the last year of super seniors. But it makes it where that's kind of the perfect storm for this to be a thin draft. Whereas,
I've heard that too.
Whereas drafts in the coming year, it should kind of even out to where it'll get more to the way it used to be. And actually, the drafts in theory should be better because the players should be even better and more developed. Getting a future pick, and I mean, you could even take that in your 7th and then trade it into a future 4 or something. Something along those lines. It opens up the possibility to have more possibilities, basically.
It is unique though, inside the division trade, and man. We know they're going to play twice. There's your first storyline right out of the gate.
Oh yeah, I mean it's going to be Christian Kirk's going to be looking for a way to get into the end zone in Jacksonville, 100%.
And if you look at the receiving core for both the Texans and the Jaguars, they're kind of in the same boat. Now
similar.
Brian Thomas is the clear one. Now the separator here is he hasn't been hurt. Okay, Nico Collins has been. When Nico Collins is healthy, he's as good as anybody in the league. I mean, he is a matchup freak, but he's been banged up. But the Texans, they love their one, Nico Collins. The Jaguars love their one, Brian Thomas. Both teams are kind of – is there two Stephon Diggs? Is there two going to be a hopefully healthy Christian Kirk? And, of course, we know the Jaguars. I don't think they think their one is their two Gabe Davis probably isn't their two. The Jaguars are looking for their two. Both these teams kind of looking for their two. They're happy with their ones, right?
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. I think that if Stephon Diggs was a surefire Texan in 2025, I would see them as a little different. But I kind of think with this contract situation and injury situation and age, et cetera, I think he's just going to be a free agent and be on a different team. So, I think they're going to be very similar.
I'll tell you, I feel for Tank Dell. He was a rookie, man, and the first half of last season, you're like, holy cow, where did they find this gem? And then, of course, he got hurt, and now it looks like he may have a second surgery. But he put on a show here in Jacksonville, if I remember right.
Yeah, he was on.
He got behind everybody.
He looked like he was going to on a pace to become a true star in the league with him and Nico Collins and C.J. Stroud.
Yeah.
You could really see the foundation for a juggernaut offense taking place. But I mean, that's the way things happen, that they come and go in this league so quickly, and sometimes things never develop the way that you think they're going to. But that's why you got to make moves and get a veteran like Christian Kirk.
Interesting. This is going to be a really interesting thing to track, and just adds one more log on the fire for the Texans and the Jaguars. As we go to break, I'm going to go over a lot of this here. This is off of ESPN. I want to thank Mike DeRocco, our buddy Mike, has had a lot into this. I think Adam Schefter is actually reporting this, but DeRocco was very involved. Jacksonville, for people just riding home that haven't heard what's going on, some Jaguar Texans news. The Jacksonville Jaguars are trading wide receiver Christian Kirk, who, by the way, they have not yet released. They are going to release him, but why not work a trade? They are trading Christian Kirk, the Jaguars are, to the Houston Texans for a 2026. And let me emphasize, not 2025, 2026, not this April, but next April's draft, according to Adam Schefter. A source told Schefter on Wednesday that the Jaguars plan to release Kirk when the new league year begins on Wednesday, next Wednesday. But they have instead found a trade partner, even though it's within their own division. The 7th-round pick headed to Jacksonville originally belonged to the Rams, the source told Schefter. So actually this is a extra pick, it sounds like the Texans had anyway. So not a lot of risk, as Zach, you said, if it works out. If it doesn't, you didn't mortgage the farm, I don't think. The Texans have uncertainty at wide receiver beyond number one receiver Nico Collins. Stephon Diggs is a free agent, and Tank Dell, his availability for this coming 2025 season is very much in question after a serious knee injury suffered last December. Dell, and this came out yesterday, Zach, and I think this is what probably really got this trade going. Dell underwent a second surgery yesterday, Wednesday, this time to repair a torn ACL after earlier having surgery to repair torn ligaments. So the Texans real concerned about their wide receiver group. They go on to say, go ahead, Zach.
Yeah, I mean, I can't help but think that there could be another layer to this, because I mean, this is their new GM, James Gladstone. This is really his first move as GM.
Yes, it is.
I can't help but wonder. I mean, if this is what happened, then he was truly playing 4D chess here. So I wonder if a couple of days ago, when the story came out and leaked that the Jaguars were planning to release Christian Kirk, but they didn't quite finalize it, was that them actually saying, "Hey, Christian Kirk, he's on the trade block. Call us, talk to us."
Well, I don't think by league rules you could officially release until next Wednesday.
Right.
So they could,
Right. But
you did throw it out there.
Yeah, to float the news out there that we are definitely going to release him. Like on trade deadline day, we're going to release him. So if you want him, like, it's basically like, because like why, like otherwise, like why put that, like why prompt that? You know, I don't see any other reason to throw that breadcrumb out there other than, hey.
And again, the Texans did not want to see. Obviously, they think Kirk has some gas in the tank still. They wouldn't be making the trade. The Texans did not want to see him released. They did not want to see him released and open to the free market. They said, let's work a deal. Quickly before we go to break, Kirk, who is entering his final year of his 4-year contract, was scheduled to have the Jaguars' highest cap number in I didn't know that, in 2025 at $24.4 million and be paid $15.5 million in salary. Kirk signed a 4-year, $72 million deal in 2022 and immediately set career highs in catches with 84, yards with 1108, and touchdown receptions 8 that season. But he did miss 14 games over the past 2 seasons because, remember, he had that twisting abdominal injury and a broken collarbone, finishing with a combined 84 catches and 4 touchdowns over the last 20 games of that stretch. Kirk is 28 years old, spent the first 4 seasons of his NFL career with the Arizona Cardinals, who selected him in the second round of the 2018 draft, catching 236 passes for just under 3,000 yards and 17 touchdowns. So not a big risk on either side, but it's worth tracking. Does Kirk have a revitalization to his career, and the Jaguars are going, damn, all we got was a 7th-round pick? Or does Kirk struggle and the Jaguars get an extra pick and say, hey, at least we took a flyer instead of straight releasing a guy? They get to pick a body in there, or they get to use it as a one more trade bait. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Boy, fun time of year.
Yeah,
for the NFL.
I know we're kind of like live reacting to this as the news just broke about 30 minutes ago, but I feel like this trade, I think it's going to end up being a win for the Jaguars. A small win.
See.
Like, it's not huge.
Yeah.
But just to get that, I don't think he's worth that salary cap hit. I just don't. And to get that off your books, I think that's good. And to get the pick for the future.
And then, everybody that covers the Jaguars, and this is key across the board, you, me, everybody, will track that 7th pick. You not only look to see what kind of production Kirk may give the Texans or may not give the Texans, but then you track that 7th pick. Was it Zach Rothrock and he turned into an all-world linebacker? Did they just use it as a package deal to track? But you track that 7th pick too, right? And that's part of the compare and contrast.
Yeah, it'll come back around as to what it was used for.
Yeah, boy, I think next week when the new league opens, the new league year opens, we're right on free agency and tags and things like that. This is a fun time of year going into the draft, this free agency time. There'll be a lot of moves. You see a lot of names now, man. You see a lot of names being released or talked about being released, or it's gonna be a fun couple of weeks here coming up in the NFL, right?
Yeah, someone's going to get DK Metcalf. Someone's going to get Joey Bosa. Myles Garrett. Maybe he moves. Maybe he doesn't. Yeah, a lot of things happening.
Yeah, definitely. All right, we didn't get to the JU stuff. Let's take a break. Go ahead and kick off our second hour as we'll get back to some college basketball. Boy, it's that time of year. And we went over hour number 1 early in the show. I want Zach and I to go over it again. You may not realize the JU Dolphins are very, very close. Could happen before midnight tonight. JU could qualify for March Madness with a strange little asterisk next to it. We'll talk about that as we go. I want to say hi to who is this? Magic. Somebody said name Magic. Good afternoon. Florida has to be number 1 after that. We'll talk about the Gators again as we led the show off. Florida, a big win last night over Alabama in basketball. A lot to cover in the final hour. Stay with us right here on Thursday edition. The Young and Norvelle Show, coming to you live from Sliders Oyster Bar.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Rick's Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Rick's Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Rick's Jack's Beach.
For over 20 years, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has been providing the highest level of orthopedic and spine care to patients throughout Northeast Florida. Now, we're making that same great care even more convenient with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Direct, a walk-in clinic where you can be seen for pain or injuries with no appointment needed. Staffed by orthopedic physicians and specialists, we offer everything from diagnosis and treatment to imaging and bracing, all with no appointment needed. For more information, hours, and locations, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store, either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms, from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%.
You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer.
You can schedule a test drive at NimnickBuickGMC.com. And while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
Coming in and really giving this Boston.
All right, back we are here on the patio. Gorgeous weather. Man, the wind has died down. I think the wind is going out. We got aspen on the patio. Very, very dog-friendly, this patio. I promise you that. The good folks at Sliders, they have water bowls out here. Putting green in the front, open air. I'm on the patio, as always. You can dine indoors, full-service liquor bar. Obviously, the Oyster Bar, what they are known for, the best seafood, the freshest seafood that you can find is right here in Neptune Beach at Sliders Oyster Bar. They feature safe harbor seafood. Zach Rothrock with me, Terry Norvelle, had Patrick Young on earlier, hour number 1. We have gotten deep into Florida, Alabama. What a game. What a thriller in Manila. It was Ali Frazier going at it. The Gators prevailed, really beat up Alabama pretty good in the second half. The Gators are a strong basketball team. I think, as I was saying going into the game yesterday, number one, I thought that was the biggest regular season game in the history of Florida basketball, with everything that was on the line. Florida, I don't think there's any doubt the Gators will get a 1 seed in March Madness. Will they be 1 of 1, 2 of 1, 3 of 1, 4 of 1? But they're definitely in this tournament as a 1 seed. Some games still to be played on Saturday. Now, Zach, I want to go back to the JU Dolphins and what's facing JU tonight. And Zach, I don't know if you got that whole explanation. So JU, the Dolphins play in the Atlantic Sun Conference along with UNF and the rest of the members. The Atlantic Sun in basketball, same with baseball, they are a automatic bid league. If you win your tournament in the Atlantic Sun, men's basketball we're talking about, the winner of the tournament gets the automatic bid and goes to March Madness, the big dance, okay? Now, the Atlantic Sun is what's called, they don't have to be a 1-bid league, but they're not going to get a second bid as an at-large bid, right? You got to get into the tournament, you got to win your tournament. To get into March Madness, you got to win your tournament. Nobody's going to get an at-large bid from that conference. Just doesn't happen. So, JU is playing tonight against North Alabama in the semifinal. You're aware of that. And the game is played on the higher seed court. So, JU is at North Alabama tonight. That is a 7 Eastern tip. These two teams have played twice this year, and they split. So, JU's beat North Alabama once. They've lost to North Alabama. North Alabama gets the home game tonight. Now, 1 hour later, tonight is the other ASUN semifinal game. Queens College is at Lipscomb. Lipscomb was the number 1 seed, so they're hosting tonight. But, Zach, that game is an hour later. So, theoretically, JU North Alabama will have wrapped up.
Yeah, so they could know if they need to win or not, yeah.
So, here's the rub. The rub is Queens College is they were Division II, I believe, recently, right? They petitioned and joined the Atlantic Sun like 3 years ago. You have a 4-year probationary period before you get to be reclassified from, say, Division II to Division I. Queens College is still in that probationary period. And what that means is when you're in a probationary period, you cannot qualify for postseason play.
Right.
Even if you win your conference tournament, you do not get that automatic bid. So you can see where this is going, right? If JU wins tonight, whoever wins tonight, JU or North Alabama, they will move on to Sunday's ASUN championship game. If Queens College upsets Lipscomb, and they split with Lipscomb this year, if Queens College upsets Lipscomb, Queens will move to Sunday in the championship game, but Queens College cannot go to March Madness.
Yeah.
Because they are in their probationary period. So, from a JU standpoint, if JU wins tonight and Queens College upsets Lipscomb later tonight, yes, JU would play Queens, but the game wouldn't matter.
So
JU would go.
JU would just go anyway. The runner-up would go in
Right.
this scenario.
They would be the highest seeded team eligible to take the automatic bid. Same thing could happen for North Alabama. North Alabama could win tonight, knock out JU. If Queens. Now, the other way JU could get in would be win tonight, go play on Sunday against Lipscomb. If Lipscomb knocks out Queens, it's Lipscomb JU Sunday. Winner gets the bid.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, that's new. Yeah, just win.
Now, it would be an upset for Queens, but they've beat them once. It would be an upset probably for JU because they're on the road. But do you realize by 10:30 tonight, if everything falls, if the 2 games fell JU's way, by 10:30 tonight, JU would be the first team to qualify.
They could be dancing.
And they would be playing a Sunday game that really is nothing more than a practice game.
Yeah, a little tune-up.
Now, there would be a conference championship on the line, but if they're playing Queens, it doesn't matter. They would already be in March Madness. How weird is that?
Yeah, that'd be pretty crazy. So I had to look it up. So it was 1986 is the last time they made it. Is that when you were playing baseball?
JU, yes. Their last time they made it was in the 80s. I was going to say, Patrick threw this in as well.
Yeah.
This situation happened in the ASUN not long ago. Bellarmine is a school, I think, out of Kentucky. They moved up from like Division II to Division I, and they were in their probationary period. I think they made it to the championship game of the conference, but it didn't matter because they could not represent, even if they won it. Strange situation.
Yeah.
But if you're JU to get to March Madness, even if it's the play-in game, who gives a damn?
Yeah,
you don't care.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, 5 years from now, no one's going to remember that technicality.
Yeah.
UCF hung up a national championship banner.
The absolute perfect scenario tonight for JU. The absolute perfect scenario is JU wins tonight. They have to win, beat North Alabama. That is a 7 Eastern tip. Queens then in Nashville would beat Lipscomb on the road, and that's about an hour later. That would immediately put JU in March Madness. And then, by the way, the JU Queens game for the conference championship would be in Jacksonville because Jacksonville is a higher seed than Queens.
Yeah.
If JU wins tonight and Lipscomb wins, JU would have to go on the road Sunday at Nashville and still knock off the number 1 seed for the bid. You follow me? I know I threw a lot of stuff at you.
I follow
a lot of stuff at you.
Oh, yeah, a lot of this NCAA tournament stuff is doesn't really make sense as far as the geography of it goes. But yeah, I do follow. I mean, it is good.
Yes.
If they got to host a game in Jacksonville, I would try to go to that.
Yeah. The only way JU would host another game would be they're already in March Madness. So the game. Right. Now, you may say, if that scenario happened, why would JU even want to play Sunday the 9th, this coming Sunday, and risk in? Well, I'll tell you why. Number one, JU's the Power Four, they don't play their conference championships until next week. So keep in mind, whoever qualifies out of the A-Sun, you don't play a basketball game for a long time.
Yeah,
you're off for a long time. So you want to play this coming Sunday, even if you handle it as a exhibition.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to go 15 days. You'd rather go 10 days instead of 15 playing a game. So you do want to play. You risk injury a little bit, but you want to play. Strange situation. It is a unique situation for JU, but I'm gonna get home and that game I think you can catch on ESPN3. I think you can catch it. It'll be the North Alabama feed. You know how Patrick does the JU ESPN3. We'll get the North Alabama guys, but yeah. Hey, they're in it. You can't win it unless you're in it, right? Can't win it unless you're in it.
That's very true. First time 86. Yeah.
Before we go to break, did you happen to see Alabama, Florida last night at all?
Just a little bit of it. A little bit, yeah. I most saw the second half when Florida was handling them.
Florida pulled away. And, Brent Beard earlier in the week and even yesterday, I think, when we had him on, he thought Alabama would lose. He thought Florida would win. And he thought, Florida's just too strong interiorly. You look up at the Gators now. They battled injuries. They're all healthy. I don't know how long that's going to last, but, I mean, the Gators have legitimately 5 big-time dependable front court players, and they've got 5 big-time dependable backcourt players.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's shaping up to be that perfect storm we talked about a couple weeks ago, where everybody's getting healthy just in time to get a couple of quasi-exhibition games in the SEC tournament to prepare yourself for the real tournament. It really is shaping up to be the perfect storm for the Gators to make a run.
But, man, it's hard to win a championship. Woo!
It is. Well, it's hard for everybody, though. I mean, all you can do is give yourself the best chance to make a run, and that's what they're doing.
Yeah, that is definitely all. And let's take a break here as we're slowly wrapping things up. Got some March Madness news and notes, and I did a little research because I know I went to the first and second rounds have been in Jacksonville multiple times. Jacksonville's hosted at Veterans VyStar Arena multiple times. I'm concerned that things have gotten too old and small for Jacksonville unless something drastic happens to that arena. We'll talk about kind of what it takes now. Jacksonville, they last hosted the first and second rounds of March Madness in 2019. And you say, well, that's about 6 years from now ago, but a lot of things have changed. We'll talk about what it takes to host, and could Jacksonville get back in the rotation? I think it's a long shot. I'll tell you why on the other side. Let's take a break. Hour number 2, cruising along, the Young and Norvelle Show, coming to you live from a very busy patio on the premises of Sliders Oyster Bar.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Rick's Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Rick's Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Rick's Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network is streaming. I'm Stuart Weber, and I'm here to teach you a nice three-step process on how you can watch all your favorite programming from the Brent and Austin Show every weekday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or the Cup Date with me. It's fantastic. We talk NASCAR. It's a great time. Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. All right, first step, easy. Download the Action News Jacks app. You probably already have it downloaded on your phone, so you might already have that one taken care of. Step 2, see that stack of pancakes up there? You click that stack of pancakes, and it's going to bring down step number 3, which is a full screen of all the different streams that you can click on, including the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 stream. You click that, the video's rocking and rolling on your mobile device. You're watching all the shows you want to, and you're having a good time. You can also do it on your smart TV with the Action News Jacks Now app. I do it on my Samsung TV at home. It's a great way to watch it on a nice, large screen for all the content. That's the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. Hope you can find it.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
Man, I love this time of year. We overlap a lot of sports, man. You've got spring training going on. You've got NBA. You've got college basketball heading into March Madness. You've got the draft coming up in April, but a lot of talk about it. The Players' Championship, fun time of year. Terry Norvelle on a Thursday, the Young and Norvelle Show, cruising along live from the patio at Sliders Oyster Bar featuring Safe Harbor Seafood. Zach, I think you had speaking of March Madness, you got a clip here? What do we got?
I got a little thing. It's
Al Horford.
Yeah, Al Horford here. He's being asked a question.
Yeah, he saw the Gators won.
Hey, he's being asked a question. He's being asked a question about the Celtics. I'm playing the audio for the audience. And Derek White walked by. Derek White actually played for the University of Colorado, who knocked the Gators out of the tournament last year.
First round.
So as Derek White's walking by, Al Horford's answering some question about the Celtics, the upcoming series they got going up, and he just stops. He just completely it's almost like an actor breaking character, you know. He just completely breaks what he's talking. He's, hey, you see the Gators won? So
nice.
I thought
dig there. Little dig.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think Colorado. I may be wrong, but I don't think Colorado will make March Madness this year. They knocked Florida out in that great game, buzzer beater last year, and I don't think Colorado's in the tournament this year, but I do know this. They had 2, maybe 3 guys that either got drafted or they had a good team. Colorado was good. They had NBA players, and that was a hell of a game. So Horford's digging a little bit there. He's a good Gator now. He was on that double championship team.
He is, yeah. Colorado 2-17 in their conference, 11-19 overall. So probably not making.
Yeah. They're not, I don't think they're going to win their tournament and and get in. You know, one of the fun little compare and contrast. I got asked this today on social media by one of my friends. Said, Terry, and this is obviously after Florida's big win last night over Alabama. Said, Terry, the back-to-back national championship team, Al Horford, Joakim Noah. By the way, Horford's still playing in the league. Noah
on a championship
had
team.
5 or 6. Yeah, Noah had 5 or 6 good years in the league before he got hurt. He was defensive player of the year one year with the Bulls. Good player. Corey Brewer played a long time. I think he just got out of the league.
Not long ago, yeah.
Horford, Noah, and Brewer went all in the top 9 picks. I mean, you're talking 3, 6, and 9. So that was a really good team. Torian Green, the point guard, Lee Humphrey, the shooting guard. They had big guys off the bench.
Team.
Yeah, it was a good, really good, well-rounded team. But my question, and the question, as Florida goes deeper in March Madness, hopefully, one of the big, I think, compare and contrast will be who would win, this year's Gator team or the back-to-back national. I think this year's Gator team might win. Now, we don't know.
Maybe.
We don't know where they're going to go in the draft coming up the next couple of years, or if they're going to any of them make it. But, man, this team is so deep. If they were all healthy, I'm not so sure Florida's modern-day team couldn't just use attrition and maybe just foul out Noah and Horford and Chris Richard and some of these guys.
Yeah, it's hard to compare eras, but it's also hard not to see. Like, we know how great Al Horford and Joakim Noah were in the NBA, so it's hard not to see that.
Yeah,
and kind of just imagine them being really, really great. I don't think that any player is beloved by Gator Nation as hard as Al Horford is. Every time that his name gets brought up, I just see Gator fans everywhere just falling and are just expressing how much they love him.
And Horford now, for his he's won an NBA championship. He's been a really good player. For his just longevity, he's been in the league forever. It's pretty understood. It's pretty, he's knocking on that door, but it's pretty understood now that all-time best Gator basketball player of all time, Al Horford gets the nod. You can throw Mike Miller in there. You can throw David Lee in there. You can throw Neil Walk, who was drafted in 3rd overall 100 years ago. You can throw, I don't throw Jason Williams. He only played 20 games at Florida. He played more games at Marshall. So I don't consider Jason Williams a 20-game guy, a true Gator. But no, Joakim Noah, he had a limited. He got hurt, but he was a real good player. But no, Al Horford is the longevity he's played with.
Oh, yeah, it's incredible.
Good.
It's incredible, yeah.
Good player. Getting back to comparing the teams, Torian Green was the point guard, and he's on the Gator staff, as a matter of fact. He's one of the assistant coaches. Torian Green, if we just play some of the players against each other, if I needed a 25-point game or a bucket to win a game, I would take Walter Clayton over Torian Green. Torian Green ran a good offense, and he could score. Walter Clayton is a cold-blooded assassin.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
My buddy Lee Humphrey, he's been on this show many times. He's the color analyst. He was the sharpshooter, and he was a great three-point shooter. He holds the record still in March Madness because he played in so many games. But I would take my chances with Elijah Martin guarding Lee Humphrey and keeping him from shooting. I think Elijah Martin. The 3 position, Corey Brewer would certainly get the nod over Will Richard. I don't think Will Richard would embarrass himself, but Corey Brewer was the 9th pick in the draft, I think it was, and he played a million years. Condon, we think of Noah and Horford as NBA guys. We've got to project Condon. I think Condon could hold his own against and actually Condon is the power forward on this Florida team. Joakim Noah was the power forward. I think that would be a push. Condon's better offensively. Noah probably a little better defensively. Al Horford versus Florida center. Would that be Handlogden? Would that be Chinlanu? Obviously, Horford a big advantage over either one of those guys, even though I think Handlogden at 7'1" will have a long career in the NBA. He may not play a lot of minutes. Off the bench, Thomas Houck, Chris Richard. I think Houck's game will develop more. Richard had a cup of coffee. I would take this modern Gator team because of depth over the back-to-back national championship team. That's just me. Just me.
It's hard for me to not imagine Joakim Noah he's one of the best rim protecting defenders that's ever played.
Yeah, he was tough.
It's hard for me to just not imagine him just shutting down what they do inside. So maybe if the modern team got hot at the 3-point line, though, yeah, for sure.
Maybe. I will tell you one. There's probably a bunch of traits these two teams have, good traits. One trait that the Horford, Noah, Chris Richard, and people forget Corey Brewer was 6'9". It wasn't like he was a small forward at 6'9", not 6'4". The back-to-back team, those bigs ran the court like crazy.
Yeah, they were a get off the bus team.
Condon and Hout and these guys, the bigs run the freaking court, and that causes problems if the other team's bigs don't want to run the court or can't run the court.
Yeah, there's definitely that aspect to it, yeah.
Yeah, they run it. So we talked about JU. Let's catch people up, Zach, on what's going on. A trade today involving the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Houston Texans. Catch people up, Zach, as best you can. The trade is done, and it's an inside division trade, Houston and Jacksonville. Catch people up that are just tuning in.
Yeah, so the Texans are trading away a 2026 seventh-round pick, not a 2025 seventh-round pick.
Yeah, not this coming draft, but the following year draft.
Right. And Kirk is entering the fourth year of his contract. So
Christian Kirk is the player.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Christian Kirk.
It's just going to be the 1 year for the Texans. And it's just straight up a seventh-round pick. It's not one of those conditional, compensatory, et cetera. It is a pick they got from the Rams in a previous trade. So it is tied to their draft spot.
So it's interesting. It's an interesting move. Kirk was about to get released, which would have meant he would have been on the free market. The Texans, with Tank Dell going through his second surgery Wednesday, they're desperate. They're desperate for some backup receiver help. So I don't think – don't you agree? I don't think these two organizations got together maybe even at the Combine and said, hey, let's talk. I think the minute Tank Dell's medical people said second surgery, I think the Texans are in panic mode a little bit. They need some receiver depth. I think this trade, and I may be wrong, I think this trade happened within the last 24 to 48 hours. Being put together.
Yeah, they're definitely desperate for receiver help because they signed veteran receiver Stephon Diggs, but then he had the ACL injury, and he's set to be a free agent. They would have to sign him to a new contract to get him back. Nico Collins is great, but he had the injury problems as well. Tank Dell's career just suddenly came to a halt. The details that I was trying to make sure that I had the numbers exactly right before I looked at it from the Jaguars side. So he was set to be a $24.1 million cap hit this year. And so since they got this trade done before the June 1st deadline, the Jaguars are going to actually save $10.4 million on the salary cap. And so that aspect alone makes this trade a win to me for the Jaguars because Christian Kirk is just not worth that kind of payment. But when you're the Texans and you are desperate and you are looking for receiver help, you go out and you make a move like this and you overpay for a guy like Christian Kirk, which Christian Kirk has been getting overpaid for his whole career. He was a second-round pick, and then he got the huge contract from the Jaguars, and now he's getting this from the Texans. So, I mean,
even when he came here, and what was that, 3 or 4 years ago? But it was pre-injury.
Yeah.
And, he's more of a slot guy. He's a smaller guy in stature. You never thought he was going to be the 1-1. I mean, the alpha dog 1 receiver, right? Didn't you always think they need to get a long-legged sprinter guy wide, and Kirk needs to be your 1A, maybe your 2. I never thought he was going to be a 1 type guy, not a slot 1 like Tyreek Hill. He wasn't quite that guy,
Right, yeah, that's just not what some guys are. I mean, his best days were when DeAndre Hopkins was on the outside and then he was just running underneath, getting all the things happening and turning little 5-yard slants into big 30-yard gains. That's his best, and that's great. You need a guy like that. That's a coveted skill set that teams need, and that's why the Texans are getting him. But for the Jaguars, I think you win this trade. That's Gladstone's first move as GM, and so I think it's a good move. I think it's going to end up being a win. I'm all for freeing up cap space. getting something for a player that you were about to get nothing for.
Yeah.
And I think it's good.
It really is a no risk for either side, right? I mean, you said it earlier. It really is. I mean, I don't think somebody's going to win. We'll grade this thing in a couple years. Maybe at the end of next year, we'll grade this thing. And somebody may win. It may end up being a little bit of a push, but it's going to be fun to track. As we said, if Christian Kirk comes back healthy, pops up with the Texans, his new team, and he goes out and catches 65 balls as the number 2 guy behind Nico Collins, and he has a nice solid year, and he catches 7 or 8 touchdowns, and he plays. Okay, well, then the Texans got that for a next year 7th round pick. If he doesn't pan out, he doesn't come back healthy, or he's just long in the tooth at 28, 29 years old, and the Jaguars didn't lose a great player, you would be able to say, right? He was damaged goods. And you even though it's a stretch that 7's going to turn into a great player, you still the Jaguars either will let you use that on a physical body, or they'll use it as a package or something. So you get to track it. You get to track that 7th pick. So it'll be fun, and it's in division. They're going to play twice. They're going to play twice.
Yeah, Christian Kirk is going to be in the bank in Jacksonville, and he's going to be looking to get in the end zone this year. But
does this? I don't think this move, because it's a damaged wide receiver. I don't think this move says anything about Travis Hunter, right? I don't think this. I think that would be reading in. Well, the Jaguars are letting go Kirk because they know they're taking Travis Hunter. I don't think one thing is related to the other. I think the Jaguars look at Kirk as they were going to release him. I mean, they were prepared to get nothing for him, right? The only reason the Jaguars got something for him is because the Texans are desperate and can take a flyer. They didn't want a Christian Kirk released and on the free agent free market.
Yeah, they want to get kind of the first dibs on him, and they were willing to part ways with that 7th rounder to do it. And that's kind of the tax they had to pay to make that happen.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of fun this time of year in the NFL, wheeling and dealing. And gosh, all you have to do is every day you go to the. You've noticed this the last couple of days. Obviously, Debo with his deal, and Myles Garrett asking for and being told he can go seek a trade. Trey Hendrickson, Bengals saying, hey, and by the way, he's 30 years old. He's very productive, but he's 30. Guys like Hendrickson are told, hey, if you want to go snoop around, see what you got. It's a fun time of year. These next few weeks are always fun, this free agency period, and then going into the draft. And I guess they're related, right? You want to know what your roster is going to look like with any additional or subtracted free agents to kind of know which path you go in the draft, right? They're kind of tied together.
Yeah, that's why you got to get this, this free draft, pre-draft free agency period squared away to know what you need before, and then you also have the one after to fill in the gaps left outside. Though,
boy, the NFL, man, the NFL has a hell of a calendar, don't they? Remember the Super Bowl? The Super Bowl was only a few weeks ago. The Super Bowl,
and well, yeah, pretty soon it's going to be the middle of the NBA playoffs, the culmination of their sport they go up to, and everyone's going to be talking about the NFL draft.
It is
every year.
Man, I tell you, I say it all the time. Boy, the NFL people, they're smart cookies, man. They know what they're doing. Their calendar, the freaking Super Bowl, I think, was what, February 9th or whatever? That was only a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
Hey, we had a couple of weeks where all of us kind of yawned a little bit, and now this free agency stuff's heating up. You had the combine. That was a big week. The free agency stuff, the legal tampering and all that comes up. Before long, you'll have the true free agent period. That'll end. This thing called the draft, which, I mean, the draft is already getting a lot of coverage, right? It always does.
Yeah.
That draft is late April. That'll get you May. Some of those guys will squeeze out a little vacation in May, June, and July the camp's open.
Yeah, then it's
the NFL
OTAs and it's training camp, and it's preseason.
Mini camps in May, rookie mini camps. That damn NFL calendar, those son of a guns. That's why I keep saying college football needs to hire the NFL to run college football. Man, they know what they're doing, man.
They're not far away from it. I mean,
I'd pay them $1 billion. I'd pay the NFL $1 billion a year and say, just get a spinoff division and call it college NFL. Let them run it. They know what they're doing, man.
It's basically NFL light. Yeah.
And the NFL knows what they are doing. The NFL has done everything that college football is trying to map out. The NFL's done it, man. They've done it.
Oh yeah.
And
they got.
And you know what, Zach? We say it a lot. NFL, they don't miss on much, man. They don't miss on much. They'll miss on a rule here and there. They'll miss on a interpretation. But the NFL, those are smart dudes in New York. Those are some smart dudes in New York. All right, let's take a final break, come back, and kind of wrap things up on the other side.
Yep.
For those dealing with pain from a sports injury, arthritis, or spine condition, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists offers innovative new non-surgical options. Our regenerative medicine treatments, including platelet-rich plasma and other regenerative treatments, use your body's own restorative cells to aid in treating injuries. These procedures are performed in our offices and typically require minimal downtime. If you want to get back to doing what you love, our regenerative treatment options may be right for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Rick's Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Rick's Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Rick's Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry. We still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
It's a new logo, new branding. With Bold City Heating and Air, it's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville. It's hot, Florida in the summer. You can't do much to avoid it, but you can keep cool with Bold City Heating and Air. It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bold City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who's coming to your house. You know they will be well trained, and they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at BoldCityAC.com. Stay cool while it gets hot. Bold City Heating and Air can help. Don't get caught sweating all summer. BoldCityAC.com, and they have financing to help. New systems starting at $110 a month and $50 off any repairs. Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bold City Heating and Air at BoldCityAC.com. Homegrown in your hometown.
Hey, I want to apologize to Gator Nation. One of the topics we tried to get to today was Gator spring football starts today. They're probably on the field right now. Wanted to hit a few things as we welcome you back. Here's a tweet, though, from Josh Hines Allen regarding the trade. If you haven't heard, there was a trade in the NFL today involving the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Houston Texans. Jaguars have sent Christian Kirk to the Texans, basically to free up Kirk's cap space for the Jaguars, and basically for a 2027 7th-round pick. And so Josh Hines Allen, one of the leaders of the team for the Jaguars, and certainly a leader on the defense. Zach, how do you read this? Kirk to Houston can't be real.
Well,
how do you read that?
I read it as potentially Josh Hines Allen is not happy with the move.
Not happy.
Doesn't like seeing talent leave the team. Would rather see talent stay on the team. Breaking news literally 2 minutes ago. Don't have a picture because it just happened. Jaguars making another move to clear up cap space. They're releasing Devin Duvernay, who you may remember he's made the Pro Bowl twice as a return man.
Return guy, but
number
real
12, the speedy receiver. Yep.
So they just outright released him to save some money.
Yeah, he just straight released. Yeah, this coming from Tom Pelissero and Ian Rappaport.
They gave him a little run in preseason to see if he could play receiver at all.
Yeah,
he's a fast guy, and the Jaguars. That's not a bad move to free up a little bit of space. The Jaguars 2025 are not going to be a team that are going to look back and go, man, we were so close. If we just had a return guy.
I mean,
if we just have
right. But I can't help but wonder. I mean, making all these moves, freeing up all this space, are they trying to potentially clear and make a move for one DK Metcalf who was on the trade block, or even one Cooper Kupp? I would rather have Metcalf, but one Cooper Kupp.
Speaking of Metcalf, though, the wide receiver position, I want to go back to the Josh Hines Allen, that tweet, which looked a little ominous.
I'm sorry, the news is just coming back to back to back. Evan Ingram has been released. It's coming from ESPN's Mike DiRocco.
Wow.
Tight end, Evan Ingram, released by the Jaguars 2 minutes ago.
So Kirk, Ingram, and that was another guy. The Jaguars had to make a decision. Productive player here for a couple, 2 or 3 years, right? Evan Ingram was productive.
Massively productive.
Starting to get a little bit injury prone, and he's around 30 years old, man. It's a tough call, man. But so Kirk gone. We kind of expected that. Ingram was a 50-50 gone.
Correct.
Duvernay, a special teams player, gone. Now, what's here for the Jaguars? I know those aren't crazy big numbers, but that's a chunk of money. Wouldn't it be? Three cap hits saved a little bit, right? That helps.
Yeah, the Evan Ingram one, I would imagine, be huge. As Miss Jackson chimes in from Twitter, we lost Evan. No, not. I agree. I love. I enjoyed Evan Ingram as a fantasy football player in particular. He had some really big games. But he was a reliable target. If you need someone to move the chains, Evan Ingram was the guy to go to, and they use him for all sorts of things.
And he wasn't a young Kelsey going down the seam and catching 40-yarders, or the who's the guy, George Kittle. But Ingram in that 10-yard window from the line of scrimmage, he was solid. He was solid. I thought, and I remember him he was an Ole Miss guy, athletic, pretty athletic.
Exactly. Yeah.
So anyway, big moves for the Jaguars as they're freeing up cap space. Now,
this is
obviously,
crazy.
This is crazy, but obviously there's a yin to the yang. When you free up cap space by getting rid of players, you also got to add some new bodies, right? So it's going to be fun to see. They got to bring bodies in to replace these bodies, right?
Yeah, I mean, someone's got to come in. Josh Reynolds also being released by the Jaguars as the names just continue to trickle
player.
in. Yeah, that coming from ESPN's Michael DiRocco via Twitter.
I'm writing down.
So, I mean, it really, I mean, it feels like they are just clearing how they, as I said, so Liam Cohen and the GM Gladstone, they're two guys that kind of come from that McVay wheelhouse of thinking, and so they want to get their guys in, and so they are just I mean, you got to make the moves out before you can make the moves in, and they're doing it. And I think if you're a Jaguars fan, you got to be excited. Change has got to come. And I know that you like Christian Kirk, and he was good, and Evan Ingram. I hear you, but I mean, the fact that they're making moves and acquiring assets.
They probably gave you all they were going to give you. And if your window opens up again in 2 years, Ingram wasn't going to be ready to catch a bunch of balls in 2 years, right? I mean, he's at the end of his
you got to be able to see around the corner.
Career.
Right.
Again, we got a minute and a half. We'll get out of here on Thursday. I want to thank our folks who take good care of us here at Sliders Oyster Bar down here in Neptune Beach. We're here every Thursday. I want to apologize to Gator Nation. We were going to get into a little Gator spring practice, which opened up today. We really ran out of time. I noted it down. We'll try and talk some Gator spring practice tomorrow. As we break, though, and get out of here, we'll get back together tomorrow, Zach, on a Friday edition. But I want to just walk you through this in a minute because it could be a huge story tomorrow. Fight on for Jacksonville. Set your sights upon the highest goal. Cheer, cheer for Jacksonville as our Dolphin team begins to roll. Yell for the green and gold. Raise your banners high and give a roar. We will meet them, Zach Rothrock, and we will defeat them as we run up the winning score. Sorry about that, North Alabama, but the Dolphins going to roll in and move on to the championship game of the Sun. JU tonight, 7 o'clock. We'll talk about it tomorrow. That'll wrap it up for Patrick Young, who spent about an hour with us. And, of course, Zach Rothrock doing a great job reporting on all the Jaguar news. I'm Terry Norvelle. Have yourself a great rest of your Thursday, and we hope you can hook back up with us tomorrow, Friday, 4 o'clock, for the Friday edition of the Young and Norvelle Show right here on Action Sports Jacks. Have a great rest of your Thursday. Jaguars moves galore. Fun time of year, and we'll talk about it more tomorrow on the show.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Rick's Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Rick's Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Rick's Jack's Beach.
For over 20 years, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has been providing the highest level of orthopedic and spine care to patients throughout Northeast Florida. Now, we're making that same great care even more convenient with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Direct, a walk-in clinic where you can be seen for pain or injuries with no appointment needed. Staffed by orthopedic physicians and specialists, we offer everything from diagnosis and treatment to imaging and bracing, all with no appointment needed. For more information, hours, and locations, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dynamic Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms. Whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV, you can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%.
You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer.
You can schedule a test drive at NimnickBuickGMC.com. And while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.